how do you feel about this? Because I struggle with it. And I was there and we filmed it. Like, I struggle with it. Like, I don't know how I feel.
Promise me that we will always be there for each other. Cross my heart.
What do you think it is about these two characters that has allowed their friendship to endure for so many decades?
That's a good question.
I feel like they came into each other's lives at such a specific time, and they were there for each other in a way that no one else in their lives were, for both of them. And this bond was formed, and they're just, they're family.
You know, what's so interesting is I think in season 1, Tully has this conversation with Mara, Kate's daughter, where she just says, hey, you know, your mother is the kindest person I've ever met. And she was kind at 14, and no one's kind at 14. You know? And I think that was it, you know, and it was actually kind of how I felt about Sarah. Like, and I just knew instantly, this is a very kind and good person who I feel safe with. And that's how Kate makes Tully feel. And those friendships are really valuable, really valuable.
This is a winner.
I feel like Julia Roberts in Pretty Woman, except if she was a pregnant housewife instead of a hooker.
So this show obviously spans decades. Which era was the most fun in terms of hairstyles and wardrobe and makeup trends?
Oh, the 80s for me. The 80s. There's a soft spot in my heart for the 80s. I have an 80s dress-up drawer in my house that existed like pre-Firefly Lane. So I brought in some sweet stirrup pants and an amazing acid wash pink jean jacket to my first wardrobe fitting. And it's so fun to play something that's in a time period that's so specific. I mean, the music and the fact that we got Cyndi Lauper, you know, music for this season. And I got to dress up as Madonna, which was just like fulfilling a childhood dream. Like the number of times in the 80s that I dressed up as Madonna, but now to have like a professional team making you get dressed up as Madonna.
Why are you dressed like Madonna?
Because we're going to see Desperately Seeking Susan, 7:30 show. You should totally come.
For me, it was actually the 90s. I don't really remember the 90s as being a terribly like fashion iconic time. I couldn't remember what anyone was wearing. The only thing I could remember from the 90s were like the supermodels, you know, the Cindy Crawford. So I kind of researched that direction, like what were they wearing just in their street style at that time. And we created a lot of those looks. And I was like, can I take these? I will wear this in my day-to-day life. This stuff is really chic and elegant, and I love it.
You can't get any of this stuff at the mall.
And I loved Tully's little bob.
I love the bob. Oh, I love the bob.
Oh my God, I love your bob. It goes up in the back. It's like so
Straightened
chic.
it.
I tend to get very fixated on what I read from the book, and I want to stick to that, you know? So if the character has, you know, curly brown hair, I'm going with curly brown hair. And I remember them kind of being like, oh, we don't know if you should be a brunette. And I said, I'm being a brunette. She's a brunette. I must be a brunette.
That whole debate and that part of the conversation, because they called me and they were like, okay, so Tully or Kate is going to be a brunette, and you and I were both blonde at the time. And so they wanted me to send them reference photos. So I had to go to a wig store and I tried on all these different brunette wigs and sent them pictures. And they were like, what do you want? I was like, I'm easy either way, whatever Katie, you know, prefers. But yeah, Tully is brunette in the book and Kate is blonde.
It's blonde. Like, duh. Anyway, so for me, I just went for the 80s direction. I started looking at brunettes, you know. Brooke Shields was really like my inspiration for Tully at that time, in terms of like clothing and stuff. And I also, like, I didn't want to go too outrageous in the costuming for the 80s because she's in a professional situation where she's trying to be on air at one point and then is on air. So I don't know that she'd have like electric neon pink earrings, you know.
Well, I told you it was glamorous.
And looking for like professional photos in a working environment in the 80s is very difficult to find. Because I don't even think maybe Working Girl, like, do you think that they really went to work looking like that, or that was Hollywood? I don't know.
How do I look?
You might want to rethink the jewelry.
So at one point, Kate and Tully discuss watching the Golden Girls together. So which Golden Girl do you think is Kate, and which Golden Girl do you think is Tully?
Oh God, it's so obvious. Kate is Rose.
She reminds me of me, sort of dorky and sweet.
And Tully is Blanche.
Yeah, Blanche.
What about the two of you? Which Golden Girl do you identify with most?
Rose?
You know, in St. Olaf, we had a chapter of Mensa. And across the room was Girlsa.
I think I identify most with B. Arthur's character, Dorothy. Just like cranky and cynical.
Well, you know, it's amazing. Beneath that thin veneer of superficiality, somehow miraculously, there is another, even thinner veneer.
There's so many great reveals in this season. What are you the most excited for audiences to see this season?
For sure, what did Tully do? I feel like this whole story is about this beautiful friendship, and you can't imagine what could it possibly be that would break these two up.
You drove drunk with my daughter in your car.
What it ends up being is really cool because you really feel for both of them. You see both sides. You see Tully's side, you see Kate's side. It's not clear cut at all.
I thought I was doing something right. It was an accident.
So what?
I'm really excited to have that conversation with, the viewers. Like, what do you think? How do you feel about this? Because I struggle with it. And I was there and we filmed it.
She left you alone at a frat party?
And this guy gave me beer, and then it was all over me.
Stay on the phone with me. I'm coming right now.
On one hand, I'm like, I think that's unforgivable. I don't know that you would ever forgive that. Like, even a couple of drinks. You don't get in the car with somebody's kid, But on the other hand, you're kind of like, well, but it was just a couple of drinks and she didn't cause it. So I don't know. I don't know how I feel.
I know, and you feel like you go like, okay, well, yes, there's a million of other choices that could have been made, and she could have called Kate, and she could have called a cab, and she could have not let her go in the first place, and she was grounded and all these things. And at the same time, you see where Tully's coming from. She loves Mara. It's just one tiny thing. It's fine. It's gonna be fine. The biggest thing for me was the fact that we have the foundation laid from season 1, from what happened with Tully and Pat. And so you understand how when she hears Mara on the phone, like everything else just kind of falls away.